Hey, Dan, John, Dan, Sandler, PT. How we doing?
I'm fine. Thanks.
Clearly, I'm just tripping over my own tongue here for a moment, so bear with
That's
me.
all right.
So we talk a lot about quoting and presenting and how frequently it happens too soon. It's a little lackadaisical, lots of different approaches to it. So can you talk through the checklist of things that a salesperson needs to have in hand before they get to the point of quoting and presenting?
Let's back up a little bit
Sure.
and then
Sure.
I'll hit that.
Yeah.
Why are we quoting and presenting to begin with? That's the first thing that has to come through our mind. And
Yep.
most salespeople and sales management, they say to themselves, well, if we don't quote the business, we'll never get the business.
Mhm.
There's truth to that, right?
Yeah, there is.
We have to look at our percentages. So if I have a 5% close ratio, in other words, I send out 100 quotes, I close 5, and the industry average is 5, we're all like, hey, that's great. I'm right along with the industry average.
Yeah.
Okay, but think about how much time and effort you're spending putting out all those quotes only to get 5%. What if instead of 100 quotes to get 5, you gave out 10 to get 5?
Yep.
And I think that's the one that most people would prefer. All right. So having said that, what's the checklist? Well, there's really 3. Number 1, what is their pain? Does the buyer, the prospect, have actual pain, the emotional reason they want to buy? Do we know what that pain is specifically? Number 2, have we already talked with them in round numbers, budget?
Yep.
Dollar amount, time that it's going to take to do certain things. Has that already been discussed, and have they already in their mind approved that? Third, what do they need from you to make a decision? Have we had that discussion?
Right.
If you've answered all 3 of those and they still need to see a quote or a proposal or something like that, your first response should be, and don't get upset with the way this sounds, I'm just trying to make a point, is let's pretend I give you a quote. What happens next? And that is a super fantastic question because all kinds of things will come out of their mouth. And based on that response, you can then decide, do I have a legitimate shot at this or
Yeah.
do I not? One asterisk real quick, please, please, please quit sending. I'm talking to anybody that watches this. Quit sending quotes and proposals through an email and then promise to follow up later. That is the kiss of death. Schedule a time, even if it has to be through a Zoom session or whatever, where
Yep.
you can actually go through that quote or proposal step by step and answer all their questions. Please at least do that.
So let's go back for a moment. Your conversation about 105, 10, 5. Why do you think most salespeople don't try and make a push to get to 10, 5?
Well, a lot of it has to do with management.
True.
Management wants to see all those large numbers. I mean, that's in
Yeah.
essence where it starts. It's the old adage, I can't get the business if I don't quote.
Yeah.
And so if I just throw a bunch of things up against the wall, something is going to stick eventually, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that it kills us emotionally to get all that rejection. It's just really, really hard. And it also sucks up so much of our time and effort. And it's just a horrible way to live as a salesperson.
Yeah. I had a recent conversation outside of PT, personal friend, and we kind of talked this concept through. And he ended with why wouldn't I still do the 90 to maybe get 5 more?
Mm.
And just completely missed the entire initiative and push you're trying to make with that sort of thing. And yeah, there's a human factor, I think, involved there.
Yeah, if we're spending time giving quotes and proposals to people or companies we're never going to do business with, that's an opportunity cost we've just lost.
Yep.
Instead, spend that time going after an account that you could potentially get.
Yeah. Yeah. And the number one thing I tell salespeople here at PT when they're get at that stage of somebody saying, send me the paperwork sort of mentality, they're required to ask if the person's ready to sign it.
Mm.
And if they're not ready to sign it, it doesn't go.
Yep.
It'll go when they're ready to sign it. And if you don't ask them if they're ready to sign it, the team's not going to send it out for you. So
Good,
yeah,
good, good.
little things like
Good
that.
rule to live by. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. All right, everybody. See you again tomorrow.
Take care.